morning everyone. Focus today is on spinal mobility. So we're going to move the spine into flexion, into extension, into lateral flexion and into rotation. So all movements that the spine should be able to do easily and that should do regularly, but which we don't. Okay, so we're gonna just practice a few of those today. What we do a lot of is flexion, okay, which is a forward bend position. But we tend to flex into thoracic spine, which runs through the rib cage, not so much into lumbar. So you're going to sit up tall, right up and out of your sit bones. Knees bent, hands resting on your shins. When you breathe out, you're going to send those sit bones up towards your knees and see if you can flex or round the lower back. And then when you breathe in, you're going to sit back up where you started. So breathing out, no tension in the arms, just rounding the lower back and then breathing in to come back up. So I'd like you to think about sending your tailbone down towards the end of the mat, pulling your pubic bone back towards your spine and then sitting back up, breathing out to flex and breathing in to come back to what we call neutral, where you're on top of your sit bones. Now we're going to extend, okay, so we love to extend lumbar spine, not so much thoracic spine. So now you're going to press into your shins with the palms of the hands, lift the chest, widen the collarbones, and then come back to neutral. Okay, so breathing in to press into the hands, out wide with the elbows, and breathing out to relax. So again, just like with the lumbar spine, there's not a lot of movement because it's not something the body's used to. So breathing in, trying to arch the upper back, lifting the chest, lifting the eyes, breathing out to release, and one more time. In to come up, breathing out to come back. Okay, take the arms from where they are, cross them over. So one hand on top of the elbow, the other hand underneath, then switch them over. We all have a favorite way of doing it, so let's do it the other way. You're going to exhale and you're going to come back into that lumbar flexion. So round the lower back. Okay, pull your pubic bone up to your belly button. We're now going into rotation. So turn the rib cage around. The arms and the head come with it. Come back to the center and then turn the rib cage to the other side and back to the center. Check, you still have your lumbar flexion. Scoop out the abdominals. And if you can think about it, breathe out as you twist. Breathe in to come back. Chances are it will be easier going one way than the other. Keep rounding that lower back. Keep sending the tailbone down towards the end of your mat. Two more. Try not to lift the shoulders up to your ears. Keep them down into your back pockets. Last time. Come back through the center. Lengthen the arms and come up to sit up. Straighten out the legs from here. So, nice straight legs, sitting back up on top of your sit bones. Arms go out in front. Back into that lumbar flexion. So, round back. Tuck under. Come down onto the waistband of your bottoms. So there'll have to be a bit of rounding of the upper back. Take a deep breath in here and then breathe out and round forwards over the legs, looking down at your knees. Full flexion. Come back up from here. Round back again. So tuck under. Tailbone goes down between your heels. And take a breath in before you exhale and lift the chest. Lifting the arms. There's your thoracic extension. Lower the arms, go again. So rounding back, lifting the pubic bone to your belly button, breath in, exhale, round forwards, a nice stretch through the back of the body, stack up through your spine, round back, pause as you take a breath in, and then come up, lifting the arms, lifting the chest. One more time, arms come down, rounding back. Pause and see if you can tuck the pelvis under a little bit more. Rounding forwards and over. Come up tall, last time to round back. And then coming forwards to lift the chest. And then lower the arms. Make sure you have space behind you. You're going to do a full roll down from here. So tuck under, roll all the way back. Bring the arms back all the way, if you can, to touch the floor. Enjoy the stretch. Float the hands up to the ceiling. And then sink your chest, stay out of your neck, and roll up and over the legs. Inhale, come up tall. Exhale again. Begin with that lumbar flexion. Okay, so this is all flexion of the spine. The benefit being that you have to use the abdominals to control the movement up and down. Up, you're going to do 2 more. Breathing in as the hands come up to the ceiling. Breathing out to roll up and over. Come up, and last time. All the way down. And back. And then all the way back up to seated position. Okay, so from here you can separate the legs. I would like you to bend the knees if you need to get a straight spine. Okay, pull the toes up towards your knees. You're going to bring the arms out to the side. So make sure you can see your hands in your peripheral vision. And then turn. You're going to turn to the left. And you're going to reach that right little finger across to the left little toe. Press into the outside of the foot. Look at the back hand. Come up tall. And then turn and twist the other way. So look behind. If you cannot reach the foot, it's no problem. Just bring the hand onto the outside of the leg, outside of the calf, wherever you can reach, and press into the leg to get more rotation into the spine. Come up, we're going to do 2 more. So twist and reach. And last time, coming up and reach. Good. From here, bring the legs back together, turn onto your side. The last movement of the 4 that we haven't done is lateral flexion. Okay, so side bending of the spine. Bend your right foot forwards in front of you, left leg back behind you. Arms go out to the side, lengthen through the crown of the head, and then you're going to come over, up, and then over to the other side. Okay, so nice simple stretch. Just side bending, lifting the bottom waist, bending the supporting arm if you need to, and do 1 more like that. Then come all the way over onto the right arm. Let's progress this. We've done it before. You're going to straighten out both legs. If that's too tricky, you can always bend your bottom knee. So both legs long, 1 foot stacked on top of the other. Slouch down into the position and then lift up and out of the elbow. Come up and lengthen out through the crown of the head. Here's your side bend. The arm goes up and over as the hips go up. You then come down and lower, and then come up and over again. So make sure you're lifting the hips higher than your head. Come back down, lengthen. And again, side bending all the way up with the hips. 1 more time. Up and over, and then come back down, lower the pelvis, sit up and change the leg position. So left leg in front, right leg behind, both sit bones down. If you need something to support that right sit bone, just put a cushion or a top underneath it. Coming over, lengthening the spine, coming back to sit up, and then over to the other side. Good, keep the pelvis heavy, lift up and out of the hips. So over and back. And then come down onto your side, prop yourself up onto your elbow. Legs stacked, feet stacked. Slump down just so you know where you shouldn't be. Lift the ribs away, lift up, lift the hips, open them, and come over before coming back down. So breath out out to lift up and over. Breath in to come back. Two more. And last time. And then come all the way down, and you're going to roll it over to lie onto your front with your hands underneath your forehead. I'll come down this end so you can see. So legs out long. Think about lengthening your tailbone down towards the end of your mat, and that should help you lift the abdominals at the front. Good. This is your extension movement. Okay, so it's against gravity, so it's a whole lot harder than what we did before. You're going to inhale, lift the forehead and the chest. This is the easy bit. Opening the collarbones, pressing the pelvis down, and then exhale to come back down. One more of those. Roll forwards, lift the chest, lift the ribs, and then come back down. This time you're going to glue your hands to your forehead. So the arms lift, the elbows lift, and then you come back down. And again, pressing down through the pelvis, lengthening out through the crown of the head. The feet stay on the floor. So see if you can press them down to help you lift up. Keep reaching out through the tailbone. Open the chest. Lift the elbows. Two more. Strengthening all of the upper back. Getting that movement into the spine. And last time. Pause here. Lengthen a little bit more out through the crown of the head. Lift the elbows higher. Widen the collarbones. Bring the arms round and down to your hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Lengthen through the crown of the head and begin pulsing the arms. So open the chest. Press down into the front of the pelvis. Lift the ribs. Squeeze the shoulder blades. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower yourself down onto your hands and rock your hips from side to side. From there, you're going to sit up. Just sit back onto your heels and reach the arms out in front. Take a few nice deep breaths into the back of the rib cage. And then you're going to hinge forwards onto all fours. So hands under the shoulders, elbows slightly bent if you tend to lock them, knees under the hips, and the back of the throat is being pulled up towards the ceiling. When you breathe out, we're going into flexion. Start with the lumbar spine. See if you can isolate it from that thoracic spine for as long as possible. When it's no longer possible, continue rounding into full flexion. And then come back from there. Finish by lifting your chest into thoracic extension. So feel like you're trying to spread your hands out on your mat. Tuck under, breathing out, drop your head, and then come back. Spread the hands, widen the collarbones, and lift your chest. 2 more. Starting with the lower back. Pull that tailbone between the legs. In this position, you can get more flexion than on your back. Come back. From there, lifting the chest, lifting that neck, and then come back to neutral. And you're going to come over and finish lying on your back. Okay, so last exercise for your spine is your bridging. So articulation of the spine, you start in neutral, which means you have a little hollow between the lower back and the mat. Then you're going to tilt into the mat and begin peeling the spine up, reaching your knees out over your toes. You're back to neutral once you're in this lifted position. Take a breath in and then start peeling back down, 1 vertebra at a time, into that lumbar flexion, and then back to neutral. Again, Let's add in the arms for the next few. So imprint, peel up, floating the arms back overhead. Leave them here. See if you can articulate back down with that same precision as on the first one. Each lumbar vertebra comes down before you come back to neutral and bring the arms down. Again, imprint, peel up, float the arms up, reach the knees in the opposite direction out towards the end of your mat, and then slowly come back down. Back to neutral, and do one more like that. Come up, reaching, and then all the way back down. Bring the arms down, move them away from your mat, glue your feet and your knees together, and just finish with a little bit of lumbar rotation. Bringing the knees from side to side, keeping them glued together. Seeing if you can get them down towards the floor or onto the floor whilst keeping the shoulder blades on your mat. And then finish by squeezing your knees into your chest and rocking gently side to side. And you are done for today.